It's all come down to this. In Naples, where titles are at stake and partnerships are on the line. After rain soaked the courts on Friday, the players are out and ready to shine on pickleball's grandest stage. Who will prevail? Which team will be left standing? Welcome to Day 6 on CBS Sports. Every late April in Naples, this wonderful vacation destination is put on notice for the Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championships powered by Margaritaville for 2022. An overhead look at East Naples Community Park, where it has been rocking all week long. Today, the pros finally take center stage before the grand finale on Saturday night. Absolutely thrilled you're here, everybody. Drew Felios with Melissa McCurley, pickleballtournaments.com, and Chad Edwards from Peak Performance. Guys, what a tournament, what a week it has been. Record-setting numbers here, Melissa, at the Open.
Record-setting, over 4,000 players have registered. 2,800 are playing in this tournament. We are represented by 50 states, 25 countries, 87 being the oldest, 8 being the youngest. And the U.S. Open has a historic prize money for the pros competing this weekend, $100,000.
All right, so much to do with our home site here at East Naples Community Park. It is a one-of-a-kind place. For more on that, let's check in with Rusty Howes.
Yes, Drew, this place is truly amazing. East Naples Community Park here in Naples, Florida, had an amazing pickleball facility back in 2016. Now, amenities being added every year are truly astounding. Last year, Collier County added additional courts, bringing the total to 66 pickleball courts for players and visitors to enjoy. This year, they added a full-service visitor center with showers and a complete pro shop for the players to enjoy. These beautiful facilities and this amazing amenities make it the perfect home for the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships and the ultimate pickleball destination in the world.
Oh, what a week it has been, and the best still yet to come of the U.S. Open on CBS Sports, coming up next.
The U.S. Open Pickleball Championships on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Latitude Margaritaville and Minto. Change your latitude to the active adult paradise of Latitude Margaritaville. By Paddle Tech, official paddle of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And by Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast.
Gonna get it started on this Friday. Men's pro doubles, the Johns brothers taking on Koehler and Wilson. Blood is gonna run very deep in this match. Pair of brothers on one side, cousins on the other side for a semifinal ticket and a berth in the championship. Tremendous matchup this is going to be on Zing Zang Championship Court. You see the other pairings there, McGuffin, Loon, Wright, and Newman also playing in this Final Four on the road to get here with AJ Koehler out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Just keeps on emerging on the pickleball scene, getting better and better. AJ's got a great power game, former hockey player, very tough player. And Thomas Wilson, a guy we have not seen a lot of, but again, emerging with a huge opportunity today. And on the other side, the Johns brothers. Pound for pound, the best pickleball player in the world. Ben Johns, the resume just keeps on growing, already considered the greatest to ever do it. He's just 22 years old, so in essence, he is just getting started. Collin Johns along for the ride, but tell you what, Chad, he is getting better and better, and he's wanting more responsibility and more on his plate as this group continues to emerge.
Yeah, absolutely, and Collin kind of understands his role, and he actually did a post the other week where, he's the setup guy, and Ben is obviously the closer, and Collin is completely comfortable playing that role. He's got such good control, such good control, and can put the ball really wherever he wants to put it. So, you know, this is going to be a really, really good matchup. You know, like we said, Koehler has the power, and it'll be interesting to see if Johns and Koehler square up against each other with the fast hands. And then Thomas and Collin are going to be those guys that are going to move that ball around, move it back and forth, and look for that ball to be explosive off of the paddle.
Yeah, just saw a great women's match too. Terashenko and Koop advancing. This crowd is on fire.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely on fire. The women kind of got them fired up for this men's match, and we might see them later here this afternoon too.
Johns and Johns ready to go.
Wilson.
And I just have to say before this gets started, it's a pleasure to be here with you two gentlemen.
2 out of 3.
You as well.
I think we're
Here
all
we
ready.
Go. Game 1.
Wilson to put it in play. Here we go.
Side up.
Little unlucky with Wilson hitting the top of the net on that, not quite overhead, but harder hit ball. And you'll notice how early these guys take the ball. They reach out, they really use the strength in their forearms and wrists.
Speed it up, and Ben does the rest.
Yeah, and I think, Chad, we'll see it all here, from power to finesse to hand battles to defense to offense. You know, speeding it up, slowing it down, very high level.
1-0-1.
Yeah, and that was the power that I was talking about earlier. But the really, really good thing that happened right there is Collin Johns is anticipating those speed ups as well. And he did a good job of staying in that point and starting the firefight. And again, we see Johns putting that ball away that floated up a little high off Wilson's paddle.
Ben will come across and poach, and Collin will definitely allow him to when necessary.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's as comfortable as they
3,
get
0,
and
1.
very confident on the court. He wants that ball. He's going to take up as much court as he possibly can.
Second serve.
A little short that time, second serve here.
Yeah, and a lot of people will notice that
3-0-2.
hole down the line behind Ben Johns and say, well, why don't you just hit it there? And we do want to hit it there, but Ben does an excellent job of controlling where that ball's going to come back, and he does that by having a little bit more of a deeper ball, penetrating ball.
Oh, crowd loving it here in Naples.
Side up.
And, you know, that tweener that he did, it's hard to get a drop shot like that perfectly set up and positioned to take one, and he gets one as a tweener.
Yeah, that's an excellent shot right there, and it's just increased spin when he snaps that wrist.
Second serve.
Yeah, and that's a tough one coming right at you, going up high, just floating right over your head.
Yeah, and especially when you add spin like that, it doesn't
0,
always
3,
have to
2.
be hard. And typically, a ball coming up at the face or the chin, a player's more likely to let that go, and that's where a little bit slower pace but heavy spin brings that ball back down.
And Ben Johns recently switching from the Franklin paddle to the Yola paddle, from fiberglass, Chad, to carbon fiber. A little better grip, he feels, and perhaps even some more spin.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little bit more of an infusion of carbon fiber. There was the earlier carbon fiber from companies like ProLite,
4-0-1.
but we're seeing a lot more come into it. It's a little denser, so that's where he's getting that feel and that grip coming off of the paddle.
Johns brothers out to a
4-0-2.
4-0 lead. Hit a little bit
Side
long.
out.
And a side out to Koehler and Wilson.
And that's what Wilson and Koehler need to do right there. They're both set up, but they're making Ben Johns extend. And when you get really extended like he was there, it's hard to have that control that's needed when you hit that heavy roll.
0-4-2. Point.
And I guess with one sailing long like that, Chad, we do have
1-4-2.
a breeze out here. I can't really tell which direction the wind is going based on the flags, but it sometimes can swirl a little bit inside this championship court.
Yeah, it's always hard to predict the wind inside here. It definitely does swirl.
Side out.
That's just too powerful. I mean, Ben's got really, really good power from a short, compact swing in front. I think the only time you're really going to see the paddle go behind his body is if he's hitting an overhead, but everything else is in front and just accelerating through the ball.
Point.
Koehler leaves it just a little bit short.
And that's what Collin does extremely well right there. He just
5-1-1.
stays calm, cool, collected, puts a ball there in the middle where there's some indecision between Wilson and Koehler as to who's going to go for it.
Second serve.
Just wide that time. Ben Johns has come out on the offensive.
5-1-2. Point.
That's that aggressive play style from Ben
6-1-2.
Johns. He had the return was a little bit shorter sitting up, took the chance to drive it, follow hard behind it.
Just long.
Side out.
That was a better job by Wilson and Koehler, keeping Ben a little bit more honest. They dropped the ball behind him to his backhand.
1-6-1.
Ben came back cross court, but because he's moving so much there, it's harder to get the feet set to hit that roll.
There you go, Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson coming through strongly through that transition zone. Kind of sets himself and
2-6-1.
gets the put away.
Second
That
serve.
overhead really just went off speed. He was expecting it to come a lot harder.
Ben got away with one right there. We have seen it earlier this week, and I'm telling you, there's a different wind when that ball gets up higher there, where a couple of swings and misses on those overheads, and Ben almost had one there, but the increased spin off the tip of the paddle was tough.
ATP from Collin
Side
does
out.
the trick.
Six, 2-1. Point.
Another point, 7-2. So not the start that Koehler and Wilson were looking for here.
No, and you just saw the look on Wilson's face, you know, trying to think, well, what are we going to have to do to provide an answer, you know, here, because quickly, you know, down 2-7. And as great as these John brothers are, they know that that's already a tough deficit.
Second serve.
Yeah, it's very good hands by AJ Koehler. Again, we're talking about how strong the forearms and the wrists are of these
7-2-2.
players. AJ taking that ball early, accelerating with the spin.
Point.
Collin Johns must have had a lot of spin on that ball as it just kind of dove over the net.
Yeah, it didn't look like the ball came up much after the bounce.
Little short from Koehler, makes it 9-2. AJ upset with himself.
And that was a good ball for him to pull the trigger on and speed up. is as you saw Ben Johns moving back to the middle, and Koehler tried to rush it and get that ball through the middle before Johns could get there.
There's AJ with the Ernie.
Yeah. I think that's the first one we've seen today.
Yeah, and all 4 of these players definitely moved well, but you see that ball floating up above the kitchen. Rather than waiting for it, Koehler jumped across the corner, which obviously is legal because the kitchen's only 2-dimensional, and take that ball as it's floating over the kitchen.
Point.
Ernie like that also, Melissa, can be a match momentum changer, can it?
Oh, yeah, it sure can. You get a
3,
little
9, 1.
adrenaline push through there. It kind of feels like, yeah, hey, I can turn this game around. It's never over in pickleball, even at 3-9.
Second serve.
It also gets the crowd fired up, and when you're on a championship court like this,
3, 9,
and the crowd's going crazy, you definitely feed off of the crowd, and it can pick you up.
Point.
Another point, 9-4. Koehler and Wilson stringing a few together here, trying to get within
4-9-2.
striking range. Finally a finish.
Yeah, again, the reach of Koehler, and you can see him get extended there, and you see a cock of the wrist or a layback of the wrist, and that really loads the forearm and allows the explosion to come out when he fires that hand forward.
Side up.
Good job by Ben Johns getting it into the right hip of Wilson. You saw him
9, 5,
just
1.
trying to finesse it a little bit more, and with it getting so tight to his body, it pushed out to the right.
Point.
And now a point away from taking game 1. It's been all Ben Johns here to start.
And like I said earlier, Collin Johns is the setup guy, and he set up that finish for Ben.
You know, Chad, and I think the setup guy doesn't get the credit that they deserve. I have seen so many great teams where the setup guy is the one that really is behind the success of the team.
Yeah, definitely. And Ben sets himself up perfectly as well. But again, Collin staying in that point, Ben speeding it up, and then that quick flick up into Koehler's body, and he just was too quick with the wrist, and it dropped into the net.
Game 1 in the books. Game 2 is next. Been a tremendous week here in Naples.
That was a glimpse that the champion and Ben Johns, you know, just made it just a glimpse for at least this year, right? Triple Crown winner here. Certainly last year's champion in singles and repeated again here. JW did have a couple of match points, but, you know, again, being the true champion Ben is, he fought those off and managed to get the match.
Oh, wow.
It's very difficult for Wilson and Koehler to find a groove right here. You know, they got up early, but the Johns brothers are changing speeds, moving the ball in and out, and getting it deeper. Makes it very tough to stay in a rhythm.
Lightning fast hands from Koehler. Doesn't pay off that time.
And Ben did grab his shoulder just after that shot, so it'll be interesting to see if that really had any long-term effect. Or
yeah, he did have to hit a couple of overheads earlier on, and they weren't full ones. He was kind of just reaching and bringing it from behind.
They make you work for points, don't they?
oh my.
Look at this.
Yeah, an excellent job by Wilson and Koehler at keeping the Johns brothers back. They definitely don't want them getting to that line, Chad.
No, and I thought there for a second Koehler was going to go softer and allow the Johns brothers to come forward, but he went back aggressive and pushed that ball deep.
Oh, sneaking up that time, got into the pantry, couldn't finish.
Yeah, just a little too much out of Collin Johns' reach.
And just a couple of just not typical errors on the part of Collin Johns.
3-4-1.
And make it 3.
Yeah, and you can see kind of the body language change, certainly in AJ Koehler, just from those 3, and again, not typical errors from Collin Johns, and see if this makes a change in the shift in momentum.
Another part of this game that makes it so unique. That's 4 straight now that have gone awry.
This is definitely a time for Wilson and Koehler to put the pressure on.
5-4-1.
Isolate Collin Johns if they can.
A little bit of an opening, and AJ Koehler with a winner.
And that's getting a reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, we see that reach in,
6-4-1.
and Collin's shoulders just kind of drop a little bit as that ball drops in inside the baseline.
Oh, Collin caught up that time. And finally the point comes to an end.
Yeah. And what a reaction from the crowd. I mean, you don't see much more effort than that.
AJ Koehler, he is a presence right now, and Wilson right along with him.
They did an excellent job right there of hitting that ball too bent, allowing Collin to kind of fall back on his heels, and then at the right moment sped the ball up into Collin's body. This is a situation where don't be afraid to hit it to that aggressive player or that stronger player. A lot of the times we have a tendency to want to try to isolate that person that's not hitting it as hard or as aggressive, but that allows the aggressive player back into the game.
The U.S. Open Pickleball Championships on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Pickleball Central, the Pickleball Superstore, by Gamma Pickleball, the official grip of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, by Margaritaville Hotels and Resorts. Check in and chill out at MargaritavilleResorts.com. And by Skechers. Experience comfort on the court with Skechers Pickleball. The U.S. Open Pickleball Championships on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Latitude Margaritaville and Minto. Change your latitude to the active adult paradise of Latitude Margaritaville. By Fruit Smash Hard Seltzer. Say bye to basic seltzer. By the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. Save the dates April 15th to 22nd, 2023. And by DecoTurf, the official court surface of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships.
definitely want to mark your calendars for 2023, a little sooner next year, here for this great week of competition at the Minto US Open Pickleball Championships, powered by Margaritaville. Drew Felios, Melissa McCurley, Chad Edwards. These players putting on an absolute show. Ben Johns, Collin Johns, AJ Koehler, Thomas Wilson on the other side on pickleball's greatest stage. So Koehler and Wilson starting to pull away here in game number 2. After the Johns dominated game 1.
They're starting to find a rhythm now. And as I say that, he pops the ball up and Ben closes it, but they are starting to find that rhythm. They're looking a lot more comfortable, staying longer in those points.
4-9-1.
And that just went long.
Second serve.
For those who are new to watching pickleball and new to seeing these matches on Zing Zang Championship Court, the Johns brothers are the last year's champions for the men's pro doubles. They certainly got their hands full here today.
Side out.
It's one thing to win a championship. It's another thing to stay the champion.
9-4-1.
Definitely have a bullseye on their backs.
Yes, they do.
AJ Koehler now pulls his team to within 1 of tying up this match.
Yeah, and that was great movement, great anticipation from Koehler right there. He's feeling it, he's dialed in.
10-4-1.
And you see him just come in and take charge of that point.
Second serve.
Second serve here.
He's hoping that's going to make the net a little lower.
10-4-2.
Knocking off the little green man on top.
Net certainly has a mind of its own, doesn't it? As that one gets away as well.
Yeah, but that was the ball he needed, right, to put away. So.
Yeah, he definitely wants that one back. He read it right, but you see him there. He's trying to say, hey, I need to take that in front. He caught that ball behind him. And it's hard not to swing big when you have the chance to close out game 2 on the ball that you want.
Yeah. And you know, oftentimes a 10-4 lead would be comfortable, but not against the Johns brothers. You need to get your 11 point and get it in a hurry.
Second serve.
Second serve here. So Koehler and Wilson trying to get the serve back so they can finish off this game. Collin and Ben trying to extend.
Point.
It's amazing how one little miscue just leads to 2 and 3. It's just incredible how this game transpires.
Yeah, pickleball is definitely a game of streaks and runs.
It's been a game of runs here thus far.
And that ball did go long.
And that's where, Chad, you make a couple mistakes. Sometimes your partner's got to step in, just pick up the slack just a little bit.
Yeah, and
10-6-1.
with pickleball doubles, obviously you're playing with your partner, and you definitely feed off each other, and you look for times where you just need your partner to step up.
Game point. Wilson trying to hang in there. Just so tough to go toe-to-toe with Ben.
Yeah, and Wilson did a good job of getting a couple of those balls that kicked up off the net. But again, Ben Johns is relentless once that ball gets up. He's going to keep going hard at the body.
Another chance here at a game point. What do they have to do to put it away? Crowd in absolute awe. It's in.
And we're gonna get a game 3, guys.
That was another point where we saw everything, including the kitchen sink, be thrown from the pantry into the open. And the control across all of that, you know, we had the offensive loves, we had the speed ups, and what it was that ended was actually a change up from Wilson as Johns was trying to get back up to the kitchen.
What a match we've had thus far, and maybe the point of the week. Johns and Johns, Wilson and Koehler. Don't you dare go anywhere. Back here at East Naples Community Park, side of the Minto US Open Pickleball Championships. There is no other venue that could host this great event. And the folks, they just embrace it year after year. It has become like the spring break of pickleball.
So we saw Koehler there. I like the aggressiveness. And like we said, he's definitely having some fun, but he has to be careful that he doesn't start getting too big and start over swinging. He's definitely got enough power staying compact. But we're seeing a few balls go wild and spray off his paddle right now. I think he needs to dial it back just a little bit. Still stay aggressive, but don't push it and don't overdo it.
And coming off the paddle with Collin, you got a big come on from Collin Johns.
And that was a very smart play from Ben and Collin right there. They know that that ball up, they're going to be coming at Collin, and he was looking for that counter attack off the paddle of Koehler.
Six straight points for the Johns.
Yeah, and Koehler anticipated it coming through. He just didn't get what he needed on it.
Yeah, he just rushed it a little bit. We see Ben Johns starting to control these points more. And he's the type of player that when he's moving, he gets into that point. If he starts becoming stationary, he has a tendency to not move his feet and then gets caught.
Yeah, and we have a side switch here. It is game 3. The first team to get to 6, we do switch sides. It's like a timeout.
Melissa, talk about the year that the Johns brothers have had. The Today Show. You've got Kelly Ripa Show with Ryan Seacrest playing in Times Square. When you're the #1 player in the world, it's a different responsibility to sort of be the ambassador of the game, isn't it?
Right, it is. And these two gentlemen do a great job of being ambassadors for this sport.
15 seconds.
For the youth, for the adults, you know, playing the game and representing our sport on those shows. They did a terrific job teaching other people how to play the sport as well. I mean, they're true sportsmen, true gentlemen, and great ambassadors for our sport.
And Simone Jardim has been through that as well, Chad.
She has, and obviously this being her last year that she's going to be playing on tour, she's looking at making this year fun. She's out to have some fun and say thank you to the Pickleball Nation for the support for the last 7 years. Unfortunately, as you start getting a little bit older and younger players come in, it's hard to the body just can't hold up with it.
Second serve.
And we have certainly seen Simone on this court many times.
7-3-2.
True champion in Simone as well.
Yeah, and the U.S. Open is kind of where it all started for us. We came down for the first U.S. Open in 2016 and fell in love with Naples, went back, quit our jobs, bought a house sight unseen, moved down here a month later and started an academy. So it was kind of a whirlwind back in 2016.
Wow. Such a great story as Wilson falls down, gets up. He has played some kind of match along with AJ Koehler. Is it going to be enough to take down the Johns? Saw Koehler come up. He sensed that ATP was coming off the paddle of Collin.
Yeah, and he came across quickly, and I'm not sure if he was trying to go back around the post off of the ATP, so an ATP to an ATP. But Collin did an excellent job of waiting for that ball to get outside the net post, and we're starting to see Collin get back into a little bit of movement, of fluidity within his stroke. Where in game 2, it was a little more stagnant.
And now everything's just going the Johns brothers' way right now.
Yeah, another ball off of the net, catching additional spin.
Eight, 3-1.
And that's in. Ben once again pulls the trigger.
Yeah, that's tough because, both sides of the net had great movement. You could see them just kind of going side to side in their partnership, and then, there's just a little miscommunication there on who was going to get that ball.
Yeah, and I think Wilson was trying to sell that ball going down the line. But again, Ben Johns moves so well.
No easy putaways here this afternoon. Oh!
Second serve.
That was the perfect spot from AJ Koehler. You saw Collin kind of just lean to his forehand
9-3-2.
a little too much, expecting him to attack straight in front to Ben. But Koehler brought it back into Collin's body.
There's another point, and now match point coming up for Ben and Collin Johns, as they have taken the best that Koehler and Wilson have to offer.
Score is 10,
Timeout.
3,
Both
2.
teams will go to the bench.
The U.S. Open Pickleball Championships on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Franklin X40, the official ball of the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, by DP Hue Hair Care Products, so you can go hard on the court, not on your hair, by Zing Zang, America's favorite Bloody Mary mix, and by ILovePickles.org, a place to celebrate all things pickle.
Some of the sights and sounds of what has been an incredible week in Naples as our men's doubles pro continues with the Johns brothers closing in. Well, if you don't have a ticket to Zing Zang Championship Court in this open-air stadium, that's the next best thing. You see a lot of people, Melissa, lined outside the fence just trying to get a glimpse of this marquee matchup right now. The phones are out, trying to snap pictures, videos of some great memories here at the Open.
Yeah, this is the most coveted ticket in all of pickleball here on Zing Zang Championship Court. So it is sold out, so if you don't have a ticket, a glimpse through the fence is about all you're going to get.
Match point.
Just sails long from Johns. Laid the paddle back a little too much. I would say if this was soccer, we would probably have people hanging from the rafters and standing on top of the fence right now.
I would not doubt that. Koehler and Wilson still got a little bit of life.
Yeah, again, really good movement by Koehler, and he feeds off of that fast pace, and if he can stay compact out in front, and once he starts that ball and stays in the firefight, he's got excellent hands.
Oh.
You know, and you can just hear it in the crowd. They just don't want this match to be over yet.
No, they're definitely enjoying it right here.
4-10-2.
Just saw a glimpse, though, court level, that topspin backhand roll, how tough that ball is to track coming off the paddle.
Yeah, and Johns does an excellent job, too, of even a movement of a couple of inches from a forehand to a backhand with anticipation and with how quick it is and how much spin it is. It's really, really difficult to come or to catch up to.
Second serve.
Second serve here, another chance at a match point. This will be the third here for the Johns.
10-4-2.
Ben Johns with an early and an exclamation to finish.
Yeah, that was excellent anticipation on John's part that AJ Koehler was going to come back to that spot. Finishing this game in the pantry, what more could you expect?
Yeah, and you've heard pantry a few times already. I think that's a new term, jumping from the kitchen into the pantry.
Crowd on their feet. Can't believe what they just saw. Just a great match from start to finish. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of the U.S. Open. For Melissa McCurley, Chad Edwards, and our phenomenal crew, I'm Drew Felios saying so long from Naples.